Bonjour everyone, welcome to your second lesson of the week on buying foods and learning about quantities for shopping for food at a market in France. Okay, for your first task you need to go to the other worksheet that's uploaded along with this PowerPoint, and it's a simple revision vocab worksheet, and you've got all the French there already for you, and I want you to see how many of the English meanings you can fill in from memory without looking back at the last lesson. Obviously if you get stuck you can use the vocab that you were given last time, or you can use an online dictionary such as the two that I've detailed on the slide here. Okay, but hopefully you can do quite a lot now without looking at any notes. Okay, so what we want to be able to do is to be able to put this together in a full dialogue between a shopkeeper and a customer. So in the dialogue that's up here, A is the shopkeeper and B or the market stallholder, and B is the customer. So I'm going to read it through for you, and then you've got to answer the questions in English in the green box, and you do that in your cahier rouge. Okay, so it says, Bonjour, vous désirez? Je voudrais un kilo de pommes, s'il vous plaît. Et avec ça? Ah, je regrette, mais il n'y en a plus. Alors, je vais prendre des poires. Comme ça? Oui, vous avez des champignons. Ah non, désolé, c'est tout. Oui, ça fait combien? Alors, 12 euros, s'il vous plaît. Merci. Au revoir. Okay, so hopefully you can make sense of that. There are bits underlined, and that just shows you that if you wanted to make up your own dialogue, those are things that you could substitute for different kinds of foods. Obviously, you could make up your own prices and things as well. Okay. Task 3 is a little bit of writing. We're focusing on the quantities that you learned last time. So you learned all different words for how to say a can of, a bottle of, a packet of, or half a kilo of, or 200 grams of. So what I want you to do is to copy out the 8 sentences. In the gap each time you need to try and insert a word that would be a suitable quantity. So you have to look carefully at whatever the food or drink item is in the sentence, which is given at the end of the sentence. So in the first one it's biscuit, for example, and think, well, would you normally buy that in a can, a bottle, a packet, or so on? Okay, another thing to look out for is the sentences start with un or une, which also gives you a clue. If you look back at your vocab sheet, you can see which words are feminine and masculine, so that might also help you a little bit. Okay, so just do this in your cahier rouge as normal. Okay, so for this task we're focusing on another dialogue, a bit like the one that we looked at for the reading. A few tasks back, I want you to copy and complete the dialogue, and where there are little gaps I want you to add an appropriate item. Okay, so it'll be an item of food and drink mostly, and also a number that you'll need to do to make it make sense. I'll read it through in French, but on the next slide I've given you an English version in case you're stuck with what it means. Okay, so it goes, Bonjour monsieur or mademoiselle. Bonjour monsieur, mademoiselle. Je voudrais un demi-kilo de blanc. C'est tout? Non, je voudrais un paquet de blanc. Et autre chose? Oui, je voudrais une bouteille de blanc. C'est tout? Oui, ça fait combien? Blanc euros, s'il vous plaît. Merci, au revoir, monsieur, mademoiselle. Merci beaucoup, au revoir. So we might all put different answers in there, and that's totally fine as long as it's something that makes the sentence make sense. Okay, so lots of different answers would be possible here. Okay, so this is just the English version of the French dialogue that was on the previous slide in case you need a little bit of help. Some of you might not even need to use this, but it's there for reference in case you do. Okay, for this task, it's listening comprehension. I've put a link at the top of the screen that you need to click on to get the audio, and you need to answer the questions in English. You might have to listen to the audio 2 or 3 times. That's totally fine, and you can pause it as you go to give you time to write things down. But it should be fairly straightforward, just a little dialogue of a girl buying the shopping at a market. Okay, so you'll be glad to know that she finished for the day. For French, all I want you to do is just to note down for me one thing that you feel like you've learned today, and if there's anything that you're still unsure about, and then you can go and relax because that's you finished for this lesson. So we'll say bye for now. Au revoir. See you soon.